These gifts were always inside of you, but the narcissist is going to help you see them. And during the time, maybe when you're a kid or a younger person, and you're in this situation, you can't really see what it's going to be like when you grow up. You can't really see, or you have a harder time maybe seeing what kind of person you're going to be. But when you are entangled with a narcissistic parent, the outcome, it's not set in stone, but there is a specific outcome that is more likely to happen. And so if you're a truth teller, these are the things that became a core part of you. You've been tested through the fire. You've gone through the narcissistic abuse, and you've seen the worst that they have. Because of that fire that you've gone through, because of that constant testing, there are some traits in your character that are just absolute superpowers. And as you grow up, you might see that a lot of people don't have this strength and you wonder why. You might get frustrated. Well, you've been through so many different situations of being gaslit, of being brainwashed or attempted to be brainwashed, manipulations, little cutting digs from the narcissist that make you feel and see a certain thing. Not everybody who is involved with a narcissist can see through their shit, but a truth teller can. And so if you are a truth teller, you have the superpower of the ability to see through shit. You can see through what a narcissist is saying versus how they're acting, and you can get to the core of who that human is and what their problem is. You don't have to be an adult for this to happen. You have this innate ability to see through a person's bullshit, and this will serve you throughout your entire life. The more you hone in on your ability to see this, and the more that you trust your intuition, which is that voice inside of you saying, there's something fishy about this. Like, what is it? I can't really see the whole picture yet, but I know that something is weird. The more you start listening to that voice inside of you, the more ability you have to never suffer fools. And that is amazing. There's not many people who can pick out a covert narcissist, for example. And of course, it still takes a lot of watching and observing, and from a place of non-biased judgment to see if there's really something going on. But you won't be the person who most likely is going to be stuck in a narcissistic romantic relationship. At least not for as long as a lot of people can be. Because you'll start to see their shit and you won't be able to not say anything. And that moment when you call out the narcissist on their shit, they know the game is up. They know that you know what they are doing. So a lot of times what might happen is you might be discarded very quickly and you're like, what the fuck? I was telling the truth. I was saying what I saw that wasn't right. I was expecting this person to be like, oh, God, yeah, you're right. Like, that was wrong of me. But no, a narcissist isn't going to do that. And so then you'll feel maybe like you might get ghosted. You might get abandoned by various people, friends. You could end up getting scapegoated in your future because there is nothing a narcissist hates more than someone who tells the truth. And with your ability to see the truth and then to say it, you will be like a narcissist's kryptonite. Of course, you're an empath, so they might be drawn to you at first. And you have to watch out for this because a lot of times they'll see your empathy and they'll want your supply. And that brings me to my next gift that you have, a blessing to the truth teller from the narcissist, and that is your deep empathy. Through all of the times that you have been in contact with that narcissist, especially if it's like a parent and you're a kid and you witness this stuff over and over and over again, and you see the injustices over and over again, your empathy has the ability to just get so deep and so strong. And a lot of people actually aren't even in touch with their empathy. And they think that it's kind of a bad thing to be empathetic, or you'll notice that they have very separate rules for work versus home and who they are where. But your empathy knows no bounds. Like your empathy is not going to be restrained by a job. You go into an office and your empathy is going to be there. In a society like the United States, sometimes that can be frowned upon, which will also make you kind of second guess yourself and be like, am I too real? Am I too open? Because nobody around me is open. Nobody around me is telling the truth. And so that's another way that you can kind of say, there's this discrepancy between who I am and my empathy and how everyone else around here is acting. This also affects your desire for justice, like when it comes to working in offices and various things like that. You'll notice when people keep silent and you will hone in on that person. And it's not based on judgment. You're not judging where that person is in their life journey or where they are with speaking up and saying the truth, but it could make you feel kind of discombobulated because you have a strong desire for justice. You want the truth to be known. And as you grow up and you go through work, you see that people are not doing that. It's going to kind of rattle you. You're going to say to yourself, well, they're saying this one thing on paper and they're saying that they believe in these things, but yet no one is actually doing it. Like, does anyone actually believe this stuff? And you won't be able to sit for very long with that kind of discrepancy in your life. This could lead to you finding more creative outlets. You could find work that is actually meaningful and impactful. You're not going to sit in a job where you're not satisfied in your soul just because it's a good paycheck, just because, you feel like people around you are telling you that you've made it. And a lot of people will do that. They'll sit in a job for years, absolute years or decades, and they will keep silent. And it's never the best for your spirit to be in that situation. It's harshing your light. And if you can find a way to make your work life and your personal life more cohesive as far as your internal truth goes, the happier you will be. But when you see these things, you're the truth teller. You can see through shit. You will be surprised by how many companies and employers say one thing and don't do jack shit, or they do the complete opposite of what they're saying. But you have the ability to see through that, and you can make real impactful change by actually being honest and telling the truth. A lot of people are scared shitless to say the truth. They're afraid of what people will think. They're afraid of if they'll be judged, if they'll get in trouble. Dude, you've been through a narcissist. Like, your level of fear based on that kind of thing is insignificant compared to somebody else. Like, it's so small because you've already been tested through that fucking fire, probably for years. And so you'll see, dude, I'm the strongest one in the room. So that's another thing that you're going to have to take up the mantle of, is that you are a leader. Despite what the narcissist has told you, despite how you feel, despite if you've been scapegoated, because a lot of truth tellers end up becoming the scapegoat or are the scapegoat, you're going to be a leader. And you're going to be able to see through all of that. And when people actually, like people who are afraid to speak up, and they actually see someone who is not afraid to speak up, or maybe you are afraid, but you still do it, dude, the respect that you're going to get, you'll be catapulted into leadership. And that is strength of character. The narcissist honed that into you, not of their own choosing. Their tactics were to break you. Their tactics were to make you feel lesser than. their tactics were to break your spirit. But if you're a truth teller, like, your spirit is not going to be broken. It might be hurt, it might be bruised, it might be given the fucking shake of its life. But all of that is just going to make you stronger. And that's because the narcissist has really honed that into you. Like, they didn't mean to do it, they meant to break you. But all of these things are actually things that humans have a hard time doing. You know, sometimes you have to go through fire to become who you're truly meant to be. We don't really learn things without going through experiences. We have to experience it for ourselves. And as the truth teller, maybe you have seen this for yourself. Like, you will be able to see what a problem is in somebody's relationship. You will be able to see the core of the issue and the entire picture of what is going on, and you will call it out and you'll be like, dude, this is the problem. And you will be surprised how many people don't really act, or they don't like that. You'll have to find a way to do it so that they can absorb it, because your truth is just so powerful. It's very hard to absorb for other people who aren't used to that. So as you grow up and as you have more encounters like this, you'll find the best way, the most empathic way to help other people see what could be holding them back. And you don't have to be a psychologist or a therapist in order to do this. You can be a good friend. And if you're trusting in your intuition and you know that you've been through this and you know that you see the problem, you are okay to say it. A person's reaction to your truth is their reaction. You might want to think about the way that you say it, because that can be another stumbling block for the truth teller, is saying things very bluntly, because you've just been through this so much. You know exactly what the problem is, you know exactly how to fix it, you know exactly what someone should do, and you're like, do this. And they're like, wait, what? I didn't really even know there was a problem, and you're telling me this super shocking thing about my life that, if it's true, could change my entire course of my future, of my life, of the people I'm involved in, everything. And so you might get a lot of shocked looks, a lot of surprised responses, a lot of silence. Some people just can't accept it, and so they just go silent. That's just something that you're going to have to accept. And that's another blessing from the narcissist, is you have a deep desire for radical acceptance of yourself and of others. With that comes also a rescuer's heart. You want to save that person. You want the manipulations that they are going through or the gaslighting they're experiencing to just stop right now. And also, as the victim of a narcissist, especially a parent, you know how hard they try to make you not accept yourself, from the tiny digs they give you every day to the way they look at you. It can be small things like, are you really wearing that today? Okay. To when you tell them no, that you don't like something, and they flip out on you and they're mad at you and give you the silent treatment, etc. And you might wonder to yourself, God, is there something wrong with like my core being? I'm not accepted by this person. They don't really like who I am and how I am displaying who I am. And then you might start to think that it's a problem with you. But throughout the time as you get older, you will learn about radical self-acceptance, and you will learn what it is like to truly love who you are and to express that. A lot of people go through life never knowing that. So your deep desire for radical acceptance of yourself and for others, and your levels of empathy, your depth of soul, your rescuer's heart, are all things that the narcissist, despite their actual effort, despite what they wanted to happen, they've actually been putting you through the fires your entire life. And now you're ready to go out there and make change happen, and you can do it because you are the truth teller. Because you are so strong, they could never break you. And that is something that they will never get over. And that's a win-win for everyone that matters, right? So just remember, if you're a truth teller and you're experiencing a narcissist, or you have experienced a narcissist in your life, be it a parent or a long-term partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they didn't know how strong you were. They didn't know that they had no chance. When they tried to burn you down, they didn't know that you would rise from the ashes because you're a fucking phoenix. Like, dude. So, what I like to do now that I'm an adult, I like to say, thank you, narcissist. Thank you for making me the person that I am now. Thank you for all of the shit that you let me watch, for all of the times you tried to take advantage of somebody and I saw that, for all of the times I saw just how much of a liar and a sneak and a manipulative bastard you could be. That all honed my superpowers. And so now that I'm an adult, I'm a fucking superpower goddess. Like, thank you, narcissist. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this content, please let me know by giving me a comment and liking and subscribing this video. If you want to learn more about self-love and radical acceptance, please go to Amazon. You can search for my book called Mystic Creatures. It's an amazing deep dive into self-love and acceptance through the lens of mystic creatures. There's amazing graphics, all compiled by me. The entire book is about 50 pages long, and each page is a stunning work of art. You'll get about 24 mystic creature profiles that you can read about. Each come with virtues of their own that they will bestow upon you, and affirmations. The book takes you on a journey of self-love and acceptance down the mystic, magical river. Go ahead and check it out. Again, that's Mystic Creatures, a sacred journey with our animal kingdom friends. Thanks for listening.